Welcome to today's explainer. I'm Dr. Chem, and welcome to today's laboratory experiment on the electrolysis of water. In this practical, we're going to explore how electrical energy can be used to literally decompose water into its two constituent gases, hydrogen and oxygen. The objective of this experiment is to demonstrate this process, identify the gases produced at each electrode, understand the electrochemical reactions involved, and actually verify the volume ratio of hydrogen to oxygen. We'll start right here on the lab bench and then scale all the way up to see how this exact same reaction is becoming a cornerstone of the global green energy transition. So get your mental lab coats ready.
Okay, so let's dive into this intriguing question. How can electricity turn water into rocket fuel? It sounds totally like science fiction, doesn't it? Taking the most abundant, stable liquid on Earth's surface and transforming it into a highly explosive, energy-dense fuel. But as you'll see in our demonstration today, the chemistry behind this is beautifully elegant and entirely within our grasp. Well, to answer that, we have to look at electrolysis. In simple terms, electrolysis is an electrochemical process in which an electric current derives a non-spontaneous chemical reaction. Basically, we are investing electrical energy to force a reaction that wouldn't just happen on its own. The word itself kind of gives away the secret, right? Electro for electricity, and lysis meaning to separate or break down. Water is a very happy, stable molecule, so to tear it apart, we have to push it with an external energy source.
Before we begin, safety is absolutely paramount, so the safety goggles are firmly on. Let's quickly go over our required apparatus. We need a steady DC power supply, some connecting wires, and a beaker or specific electrolysis apparatus. We'll also use two clean inert electrodes, typically made of graphite or platinum so they don't degrade, and a couple of test tubes for gas collection. Now here's a crucial tip for accurate results. Pure distilled water is actually a very poor conductor of electricity, so we absolutely must add a small amount of a suitable electrolyte, like dilute sulfuric acid, to increase its conductivity so the current can actually flow. All right, I'll guide you step by step as we set this up. We begin by preparing our electrolyte solution, mixing the distilled water and a little bit of that dilute sulfuric acid in our beaker. Next, we position our electrodes so they are fully immersed. Then, we fill our test tubes completely with the solution and carefully invert them over each electrode, making sure we don't trap any air bubbles. Finally, we attach our connecting wires to the DC power supply and simply switch on the current. Now watch closely what happens as the electrolysis proceeds. Almost instantly, you'll see vigorous bubbles begin to form right at both electrodes. The electricity is doing its work. Hydrogen gas is rapidly collected at the negative electrode, which we call the cathode. Meanwhile, over at the positive electrode, the anode, oxygen gas is bubbling up. The gases naturally rise and start displacing the liquid inside our inverted test tubes. As the experiment runs, observe the dropping water levels inside the test tubes. If you look really closely at the volume of the gases we've collected, a very specific mathematical relationship emerges. The volume of hydrogen gas produced is approximately twice the volume of oxygen gas. This beautifully confirms the 2-to-1 ratio in the chemical formula of water we all know, H2O. 2 parts hydrogen for every 1 part oxygen. You are literally watching the chemical formula prove itself. Of course, both of these gases are invisible, so to accurately identify what we've collected, we perform a classic chemistry test. Remember to always maintain a steady power supply, prevent leakage, avoid mixing the gases, and keep hydrogen away from open flames, except during this controlled test. We carefully remove the tubes. For the tube with twice the volume, we bring a burning match or splint near the opening. It gives off a characteristic high-pitched pop sound, a satisfying mini explosion confirming flammable hydrogen. For the other tube, we take a glowing splint and insert it. The pure oxygen supports combustion so well that it causes the glowing splint to spectacularly relight into a flame. Looking under the hood at the deep electrochemical science, what we have here is an oxidation-and-reduction, or redox reaction. It might sound a bit complex, but just think of it as a microscopic game of catch. At the cathode, positively charged hydrogen ions are catching electrons, that's reduction, to form neutral hydrogen gas. At the anode, oxygen is throwing electrons away, that's oxidation, to create pure oxygen gas. It's this continuous transfer of electrons that makes the whole system work. So the crucial takeaway is summarized perfectly by the overall chemical reaction. 2 molecules of liquid water yield 2 molecules of diatomic hydrogen gas and 1 molecule of diatomic oxygen gas. This wonderfully demonstrates the perfect conservation of matter. Nothing is lost. The atoms are simply rearranged from a stable liquid into 2 powerful gases by the sheer force of electrical energy.
Now that we've mastered the fundamentals on our lab bench, let's zoom out. Let's move to a completely different scale and ask how this exact tabletop laboratory chemistry is currently reshaping massive global industries. Because what we just did in a beaker is quite literally the key to unlocking a fossil fuel-free world. This is where the magic really scales up. Think about the energy input we just used, a simple battery. But what if that electricity comes from a solar panel or a wind turbine? When we combine pure water and pure renewable energy in an electrolyzer, the result is completely emission-free green hydrogen. It's an energy carrier created with absolutely zero carbon dioxide emissions. To appreciate where we're going, we kind of have to look at how we got here. It's wild to think this journey actually started way back in 1789, when scientists Trustwick and Diamond first split water using sparks of static electricity. Then in 1800, Nicholson and Carlisle used Volta's brand new battery to do it steadily. By 1834, the legendary Michael Faraday laid down the mathematical laws governing the process. And skipping ahead to the 1960s, General Electric revolutionized the technology for the space program, bringing us right into the modern era. That 1960s revolution gave us the two main pathways that dominate today. On one side, we have traditional alkaline electrolysis, which uses a liquid chemical electrolyte, very similar to the beaker setup we just ran. On the other side is the modern breakthrough, PEM, or proton exchange membrane electrolysis, which replaced that bulky liquid electrolyte with an ultra-thin, solid polymer sheet. PEM technology is an absolute game changer. By using a solid membrane that only allows positively charged protons to pass through, these systems become incredibly compact and reach up to 80% efficiency. But here is the really crucial part. Because they don't rely on a sloshing liquid, they can adapt almost instantly to the fluctuating power supply of wind and solar grids. If a gust of wind hits the turbines, the PEM electrolyzer can instantly ramp up to capture that extra energy. We've now gone from our little glass lab beaker to massive commercial electrolyzers produced by pioneering companies like Nel and Bosch. These are robust, shipping container-sized industrial powerhouses designed to run continuously, splitting water on an unprecedented scale to feed our modern industrial demands. To put that massive industrial scaling into perspective, let's look at the numbers. A single Bosch Hebrian stack takes a whopping 1.25 megawatts of power. That is enough electricity to power a small town. And with that power, it produces nearly 23 kilograms of highly pressurized hydrogen every single hour. It's the exact same chemistry we just performed, but amplified to an astonishing degree. What you should really take away from this is that electrolysis has incredibly important real-world applications today. The exact same bubbling reaction is now being used for renewable energy storage, metal extraction, and various industrial electrochemical processes. Innovators are using it to create sustainable aviation fuel, literally making jet fuel out of water and transformed CO2. It's powering long-range fuel cell electric vehicles, and it's even generating the pure oxygen that keeps astronauts breathing aboard the International Space Station.
In conclusion, this experiment clearly demonstrates that water can be decomposed into hydrogen and oxygen using electrical energy. It perfectly illustrates the principles of electrolysis, oxidation and reduction reactions, and the conservation of matter, while highlighting the growing importance of hydrogen as a clean and sustainable energy source. If we already have the chemistry to perfectly balance our energy needs with nature, what's stopping us from scaling it everywhere tomorrow? Thank you for watching this laboratory demonstration. Stay tuned for more chemistry experiments presented by Dr. Chem, where scientific concepts come to life through practical laboratory learning.